Brittany, you ready?
6 o'clock.
Welcome, everybody, to the December meeting of the Amherst County School Board. Dr. Wells, is there anything you need to start with?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if we could rise for a moment of silence and pledge allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We do Dawn first. Okay. Okay. According to the Amherst County School Board Policy BDD, a school board member may participate from a remote location due to a medical condition or personal matter that prevents the member's physical attendance with approval of by the majority of vote of the members present at the primary meeting location. In order to offer this opportunity to the remote board member, a quorum of the board must be physically present at the primary location, and arrangements have been made for the voice of the remote participant to be heard by all. Do we have a quorum of the board at this time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, let me get her off of mute. Ms. Justice, are you able to hear us? If so,
Yes, sir, I'm present.
thank you very much. Seeing that we have met both the criteria stipulated by the policy BDD, at this time I ask for a motion of the board member to have Ms. Dawn Justice be allowed to participate in the meeting remotely with the rights of discussion and voting offered to them.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Seeing that we have all ayes, welcome Ms. Justice to the meeting.
Thank you very much, Board.
Okay. All righty. So, we have Ms. Justice on, we have us going. So, Board, have you seen the agenda?
I make a motion, we approve tonight's agenda.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Dr. Wells?
Yes, sir. I'm going to come up. Mr. Chair, members of the board, tonight we have multiple recognitions to get through, but I do want to start our meeting tonight with recognizing one of our board members who is coming off the board. This is her last meeting. So, Ms. Thompson, would you mind coming down for a few seconds? Flowers, but I'll carry this up later. But we also have just a plaque here for you, and it states, in grateful recognition of your dedicated service and unwavering commitment to the students, staff, families of Amherst County Public Schools, your leadership and vision have left a lasting impact on our schools and community. School Board Member, July 2016 to December 2025, and Chair 2022.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I wanted to say a few words, and then Mr. Terry will say a few words for recognition for the board, and then we also have a video we would like to share that some of our students and staff have put together. So again, we want to thank you for your service to Amherst County Public Schools and Amherst County. You have had a direct impact on the lives of probably over 10,000 students when you look at the time you've been on the board, and that is something to be proud of. You know, you served through probably one of the toughest times in recent history with the pandemic, and how getting through the pandemic and some of the issues we were facing as a community and as a nation through that, but you were able to hold steadfast and help guide us through the pandemic and how we reacted there. So I do want to say thank you for that. Again, we thank you for your leadership, your steadfastness, ensuring we keep the main thing, and living up to our county motto, our school motto of every child, every day. So thank you very much for your service, and we greatly appreciate it. Mr. Terry?
So, Ms. Thompson, as you know, I never write anything down, so sometimes this gets me in trouble. But on behalf of every student, teacher, faculty, staff, we all say thank you for all that you've done. Everyone that I just listed off there is better because of you. The time that you put on the board has meant so much to everybody. Personally, you've been a mentor, a leader, but most of all, a friend. So good luck in your retirement. At least you're not going far. You're still here in the county. And like I said, we greatly appreciate all the time that you've put in with us. Thank you very much.
Do the video.
Well, I would like to say thank you to everyone. I know I'm going to cry. I asked for a box of tissues back here.
Mr. Radasi requested that for you.
Yeah. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. Such a wonderful personal touch, and the video was great, all the kindness and the dinner tonight, and so just thank you. I'm deeply humbled and I'm grateful, I'm appreciative for the time that I've been here on the board. I mean, it's been a distinct joy. It's been a privilege serving alongside of each of you board members, some that have already left. But it's also been a privilege to work with each of you and the Amherst County family. I want to extend my thanks to the whole administrative team, because if it wasn't for your steadfast support daily, I would not have been able to do this job. Even through the difficult times, your kindness and your graciousness would always come shining through, and I just appreciate that so much. Lastly, it's been an honor of my lifetime, my educational career, to be here on the board, to be a voice for the students, to be a voice for the families and for the people in our community. And so I want to say thank you for your trust and your confidence in allowing me to serve you. I have no doubt that Mr. Childress will pick up the baton and he will continue to carry on. And just as I have no doubt you will all support him and help him to feel welcome. I can't tell you how much you've meant to me. I want to thank you all. Please note that I'm going to miss you, and you may see me sitting out there sometime. But Christmas is around the corner, so I want to say Merry Christmas, and I want to say thank you for your blessings and the joy that you've been to my life.
All right. So next on the agenda is the Students of the Month. So as you know, we didn't get to recognize our October students because we had that bomb threat situation, shooting situation that was out there on social media. So we didn't have students here that evening. So we'll do our October students as well as our November students. So we'll start with the October Students of the Month. And instead of reading the accolades of everyone, I just want to say these students are recognized every month for their leadership in the buildings, their willingness to help others, to work with others, to be leaders, and again, leaders in their school. And they're just working above and beyond. That's why they're being recognized. We do want to recognize them and thank them for what they're doing and getting this education, getting the most out of what we can give them in our education system. So we will start with Amherst County High School, and we have Jessica Payne. Amherst Education Center, Caitlin Chittum. And again, these are October, so a couple months out, so they might have forgotten. So Amherst Middle School, Tiara Romo Asensio. Come on up. Let me get you your certificate. Congratulations. And you get to stand right here in the middle the whole time. Okay. From Nelson Middle School, Lily Canada. From Amelon Elementary School, Asher Young. From Amherst Elementary School, Jacob Picard. And Amherst Elementary has two, actually. It had one for September, that was Jacob. They couldn't be that nice one to recognize them tonight. And also from October, we have Elena Eliz, I'm going to mess this up, Elizazi. Central Elementary, Raylyn Dalton. Elon Elementary, Liana Wilkes Gardner. Madison Heights Elementary, Tamron Hips. And from Temperance Elementary, Fletcher Tomlin. Okay. Give me 1 second. All right, now for November. Amherst County High School, Melissa Thames Banda. Amherst Middle School, Cole Mays. The Nelson Middle School, Bradley Sale. Emelon Elementary, Gloria Guzman Horacio. Amherst Elementary, Maggie Reedy. Central Elementary, Chloe Anguano Mancilla. Elon Elementary, Jeremiah Kuhn. Madison Heights Elementary, Tobias Grant. Temperance Elementary, Trafton Vest. All right. Mr. Terry. Let's all slide. Everybody knows. Don't take a picture. And parents, these pictures will be available. We'll get them to you. But you can take your own also.
Y'all welcome to come take some. 1, 2, 3. All right, families, if
And
y'all want
parents,
to
if
get
you
in
want to
here.
take, you can come up if you want to. Congratulations, guys. Thank you. Good work. Okay, now we're going to do Staff of the Month for October and November. Amherst County High School, Jessica Meeks. Amherst Education Center, Ken Baker. Amherst Middle School, Heather Davila. The Nelson Middle School, Shaylin Ellett. Emelon Elementary, Mackenzie Davis. Amherst Elementary, Lauren Higgins. In Amherst Elementary, that was September, this is October, Agnes Rucker. Central Elementary, Michelle Abbott. Elon Elementary, Montana McDaniel. Madison Heights Elementary, Gabrielle Rogers. Temperance Elementary, Chelsea Poole. Transportation, Patricia McBride. And they have two as well. And transportation from September was Patricia, and from October is Darlene Kirby. We'll get everybody else from next round. See who shows. It might just be us. Oh, and Joyce Sawyer from us. I forgot. I was on a different stack. Come on up, Joyce. You have a partner. From November, Amherst County High School, Mark Campbell. And I'll say about Mark and the band, a Christmas parade is not a Christmas parade about a marching band being in it. So even though it snowed and we didn't have school, we got majority of the kids up here, I think, and they were able to march in the parade. So thank you for keep getting that going. I hope that helped a little bit. Amherst Education Center, Karen Lynch. Amherst Middle School, Catherine Widrick. Manelson Middle School, April Hale. Amelon Elementary School, Emily Lawrence. Amherst Elementary, Stephanie Eckenrode. Central Elementary, Kim Gibson. Elan Elementary, Jill Herr. Madison Heights Elementary, Tammy Simone. Temperance Elementary, Kristen Thompson. Transportation, Rodney Sandage. And from the School Administration Office, Amber Beleka. Get to do a picture.
Thanks. Yeah, all right. 1, 2, 3. All right, everybody else wants to get in here. Keep that up.
All right, we also want to recognize an Amherst County High School student, Caitlin. Miss Caitlin Baxter, come on up. So, those who don't know, she finished second in the state golf tournament against the guys.
All right.
It wasn't just a women's tournament. So, that's a big accomplishment. That's the highest level female golfer we've had at Amherst County High School ever. But it also ties with the highest ever finishing any student at Amherst County High School ever in the state golf tournament. We had another person back in the 90s who finished second in the state. She's only the second person to do that from the high school. So we want to recognize that and congratulate you and say great job. Keep up the good work. Anything you want to say?
It's always been a dream of mine to go to the state level and represent my high school, and I really have enjoyed this opportunity that my county has presented me with to succeed at this level. So thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Keep up the good work. And also from the high school tonight, we want to recognize the yearbook. They finished trophy class at the Virginia High School League, which is the highest level you can achieve in yearbook. It's equivalent to a state championship, basically. And so we want Ms. Burley and any of her yearbook staff that are here to come forward. And I'll let Ms. Burley kind of speak to the exacts about that, but do want to congratulate them as well.
Thank you, Dr. Wells and Mr. Chairman. And before I start, Ms. Thompson, I'd just like to add my thanks for all the years you've put on service here for the school board. So we appreciate all you've done for us. Thank you. What Dr. Wells mentioned, one of the awards was the trophy class from the Virginia High School League, and that is the top award that they give to any publications in the state of Virginia. But in addition to that, we've had some since Dr. Wells invited them to the school board meeting. We've had some other awards also. The yearbook staff was recognized by the Southern Interscholastic Press Association in Columbia, South Carolina. They received a superior rating in that critique. From the National Scholastic Press Association, they also received an award of the honor rating of first class with a mark of distinction for design. And then most recently, from the Columbia Scholastic Press Association in New York, they received the gold medalist rating from the Columbia Scholastic Press Association. They scored 976 out of a possible 1,000 points. There are 3 areas they're judged in: essentials, verbal, and visual. In all 3 areas, they were recognized with all Columbian honors in all 3 of those areas. So tonight we have with us Hannah Davis and Kinsley Bryant, who were on last year's staff. They're also serving on staff again this year. Hannah is our editor this year, and Kinsley is our sports editor this year. Already working really hard on producing the next yearbook. So I want to recognize them. Some of our students couldn't be here tonight, and I think our editor from last year, his mother said that he was planning to watch the meeting as it was streaming tonight. So he's still in college. I mean, he's away at college and isn't home from break yet. So these 2 ladies are part of the staff, and we just want to recognize them. And I would also, Dr. Wills, if you will allow me, they have some family members here with them, and I always say the students can't do it all without their family backing them. Nobody really knows how many hours they put in from interviewing and taking pictures, going to events, covering things in the daily life of the school. But they spend a lot of time also after school and at home, and their family members really are there to support them. So if you don't mind, the family members for these 2 ladies, please stand tonight and let us recognize you also. I really appreciate what you all do to support your students, so thank you. Thank you, Dr. Wills.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. And our last recognition tonight deals with our autism program, and the program was recognized as the Best of Region 5, the Community of Leaders in Autism, Best of Region 5 achievement, and Ms. Abby Holman's going to come speak more about that.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm very grateful that I get to share with you that we were selected as the best in Region 5 by the Community of Leaders in Autism for Region 5. That is a statewide initiative that is run by VDOE and includes every division in that region, as well as some state partners as well. They've identified us because of our efforts related to programs for students with autism, which I'm very proud of. Some particular pieces that they identified as positive things we're doing were our behavioral supports that we have put in place in the division. So thinking about our best lab and our behavioral services provided by our behavior staff as well. They also mentioned our transition programs focusing on pre-employment skills for our students in the adaptive curriculum, both at the middle and the high school. And they also were very quick to emphasize our very strong emphasis on communication skills instruction. K-12, they've been very pleased with all of those pieces. The whole goal of the community of leaders in autism is to improve outcomes for students with autism. And so this recognition I give entirely to my staff and to all the staff in ACPS, because we know that inclusion and powerful programs for students with disabilities come from everyone. So everyone in the division that interacts with a child every day deserves this recognition. And I'm very, very proud to lead this program and to work alongside all of these really strong educators. So I hope you'll join me in congratulating the staff on such a wonderful honor.
Mr. Chair, I move that we move to closed session.
So, Mr. Chair, pursuant to Section 2.2-3711A1 and A19 of the Code of Virginia, it is recommended the board convene a closed meeting for the following: A1 personnel matters, A19 discussion of plans to protect public safety.
Okay. We have a motion? So moved. Okay, all in favor? Aye. We are now in closed session.
Oh.
Ms. Justice, we're getting ready to go into the closed session room.
Yes, you can put that with
Okay, oops, I gotta read. Okay, alrighty. Board, do I have a motion to come out of closed meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Whereas the Amherst County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to the affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas 2.2-3712D of the Code of Virginia requires certification by this school board that such a closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that Amherst County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, one, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which the certification applies, and two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered.
Mr. Terry?
Yes.
Mr. Childress?
Yes.
Ms. Ligon?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Justice? Yes. Mr. Rossi?
Yes.
Ms. Saunders? Yes.
Okay. Moving on, 4.01.
Well,
Public hearing?
public hearing, yes, sir. And you need to,
Need a
motion to open a public hearing.
Mr. Chair, I move that we open up public hearing concerning school budget.
Okay,
Seconded.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So is anyone wishing to address the school board concerning the 26-27 school operating budget? Yes, sir. Can you please step forward and state your name and voting district?
Good evening. I'm Jeff Porter, 478 Woody's Lake Road, Madison Heights, District 5, I believe. In terms of the budget, I have 3 different comments. In terms of where I would like to see emphasis, I want to encourage the board to really look at increasing funding to CTE offerings and how they are desiring to promote that through the school grade levels. I think that's important. I think making sure that any pay increases are equally felt by the classified employees in the school district is important. They tend to lag behind, and I think that window of opportunity needs to be opened up more to them. I also believe that it's important for the school district to strongly emphasize civics. People need to know how our government works, and that's essential in a democracy and a republic. And so I would like to see greater emphasis with that. Secondly, my comment is you all have a great story to tell. You all deal with money well. This county needs to know that. We get upset because we get an assessment on our property, but we should also be very focused on how well our money is being spent, and you all have a great story to let people know that. A lot of people think government wastes money. That's the perception. You all do not do that. Every child, every day is a reality, and you need to make that clear to the public. I will continue to advocate for that. but tell your story over and over and over again. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you all do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else who'd like to approach the board about the budget? Okay. Seeing none, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. So now we move to public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board about matters other than that school budget? We had no one listed, right? Okay, just making sure. Okay. Okay, well, and seeing none, we will move on.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, members of the board, last month we brought to you policy JHC, and it was recommended we take it into the policy committee. The policy committee met earlier this month and made some revisions to that policy. It's now coming back to you for action, and I would recommend approval of policy JHC, which is telehealth policy.
Okay, board?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve policy JHC.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you.
Dr. Welch?
Next, we have consent agenda.
Okay.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we had our student reps. They're not here this evening, so we'll move on to instruction. Mr. Neighbors.
All right, good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Several items for you this evening. The first, I'm very excited after a 3-month wait to be able to tell the board we actually received data from the state. In board docs, you received a division summary report. It's a new report format this school year listing all of our schools and some of those key indicators and what the state is looking at in regards to our framework score, which we've been talking about quite a bit over the last several months. Very pleased to say that our calculations were fairly accurate in regards to where we thought we were going to land, especially with our performance category, so no surprises there at any of our individual schools. We're very excited for a couple of components that did come out. So first and foremost, and there were already some celebrations today, both Manelson Middle School as well as Madison Heights Elementary School are no longer federally identified. I believe Manelson had cake this afternoon, and that's coming soon to Madison Heights as well. So wanted to pause there for a moment. We don't always get to celebrate those things. It's a remarkable achievement. The staff at those two schools deserve a tremendous amount of accolades for the work that was done to move our students closer to where we need them to be. I was very, very excited to hear them all saying, we know we still have miles to go with these kiddos, but what an incredible thing to be able to take that deep breath, reflect, and really celebrate where we've come in really a short period of time in both of those spots. So all kudos to the administration, to all the staff, teachers, support staff, everyone in those two buildings for an incredible job. Well done. We also did have a continuation of identification. So at Central Elementary School, for this school year, they are moving into what's called comprehensive support and improvement. The silver lining with this identification for Central, they're not locked in for a period of time. So just like with what we saw with Manelson and Madison Heights, they can work themselves out of this identification as early as next fall when we get that data. Right now, we are working with all the administration staff there, Mr. Profit and Dr. Nagaris, as well as key staff to really dig into that data, look at where the framework is showing us. We need to make some of that progress, and how do we take that next step to get out and then keep that progress going forward as we move forward. The only other thing I'll highlight, it wasn't something we were expecting, but an additional resource that's also in board docs. We did a leaderboard for us for each region. In Region 5, we had 4 schools that featured within the top 5 of various performance categories. So Amherst County High School, Manelson Middle, Amherst Middle, and Temperance Elementary all received one of those recognitions for a performance category. So among the top 5 in Region 5, and we're very excited to see that for them, share that information, allow that to be a part of the celebrations as well. So we're very excited to get this data to confirm most of the pieces that we were already aware of, to get some excellent news and share that with staff. But again, can't say it enough, for Manellis and Madison Heights, it's a tremendous amount of work, a tremendous amount of effort. It was excellent to see that pay off for them and then be able to celebrate that this week. So on this, I will take any questions the board might have. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Neighbors, great success on that. Appreciate hearing the great news on that. And I know that there's never one attribute that we could say that was the silver bullet.
Yeah.
But overall, what do you think contributed to the success of these schools to be able to come off of that list?
Yeah, so from a content or data standpoint, reading was really the piece that pushed them over the edge, over those thresholds. What got them there? The collaboration of those staff, to see all of the individuals in those buildings wrapping around literally every single kid and working to figure out how do we get each of our students just a little bit further, a little bit closer to where we need them to be. It's easy to say that reading is what got us there. That's the reality of it. The way that they've worked over this past year, the way that they are still working this school year, that collaboration, that effort, all of them pulling together, that's what got them there.
And are there any pieces that we could pull from the other two schools to help with Central to get them to be where they need to be?
Absolutely, and that's been the encouraging parts of the conversation with Mr. Profit and Dr. Nagaris this week. A lot of those pieces, they were already asking those questions. They were looking at Madison Heights, looking at Manellis, and what have you all been doing? Because we did have those early returns on data and seeing that. A lot of what I would recommend if I was seeing this data for the first time, they've already been implementing this year. They've already been working towards a lot of those things that we saw that worked at Madison Heights and Manellis, and those were easy conversations to have with the administrative staff this week because they've already made a lot of those strides. Again, they know there's still a lot of miles to go to get us where we need to be, but a lot of the work that needs to be done, they're already doing it.
And then my final question
Yes,
on
sir.
this is, based on these results, should we expect to see higher gains in growth at the end of the year when we looking at that?
I would say most definitely. And the next bullet on there talking about some of the growth assessments, even just being able to compare last year's performance to this year, knowing where we ended up at the end of last year, I'm expecting us to continue to take those strides and move forward. We still actually, across the board, left a lot of points on the table, you might say, in that growth category specifically. That's something I'm really looking to see everybody continue to make progress with as we're having this conversation next year this time.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Board, anyone else?
Yes, sir, Mr. Terry?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
First of all, Mr. Neighbors, what were those 5 schools that were in the top 5 of Region 5? There was ACHS, Manellis, Temperance, and then what were the other 2 schools?
Just Amherst Middle, just the 4.
Okay, Amherst Middle. Okay, that's awesome, both the middle schools.
Yep.
Okay, and then the other question, I was trying to understand the difference between on our report, it says it has Emelon, Central, and Madison Heights. They got the yellow off track.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between needing comprehensive instructional support and needing targeted?
Yeah, so that comes back to, oh, I'm sorry. Did I miss something there? Then? Okay. That really comes back to the federal identification part. So the on-track, off-track, distinguished, those are state performance ratings. The CSI, Comprehensive Support Improvement, TSI, Targeted Support Improvement, are both federal identifications. So last year, all 3 of our schools identified were under TSI. This year, just Central is identified, and they are identified under CSI.
And so what was the difference? What were the indicators that were different?
For CSI, and it's in the memo there, specifically it relates to where you fall within Title I schools in the state. So that lowest 5% from a performance standpoint, that's where those CSI schools get identified. What's interesting about that and the way that they calculate it, it's completely based on the framework score. So when you go into the data and you look at the various subgroups and the performance levels of where they were, in a lot of ways, Central's data is very similar to our other schools and a lot of other schools schools in the state. Because of the way the framework score is calculated, they didn't quite get as much for growth. That brought that framework score down, ended up putting them in that bottom 5%.
Got you. So when you look at their scores, would you say that their mastery score has improved versus before, but because the growth was not weighted as heavily as it has been in the past, it looks like it's lower?
I would agree with that very much. Growth was really the piece where they left a lot of points on the table with this new framework. That's absolutely what we need to be targeting to try to bring that framework score up.
Okay, and if you separate out the mastery of content between those 2 years for Central, what did you see the difference in? Did you see an improvement in mastery of content?
We did, specifically in reading, and that's really a trend across the board, seeing the impact. Oh, I'm sorry.
You just said good.
Oh, said good, okay. Thank good. Reading in particular, not just for Central, but really for a lot of our elementary schools, seeing the effect of that curriculum that's been put in place.
Okay. Ms. Justice, anything else?
No, sir. Thank you very much for answering my questions, and congratulations.
Yes, ma'am. Well, congratulations to our staff. I'm glad Mr. Holmes bought some cake today. Apparently it was good. I was sad I wasn't able to get a slice of it, but very excited they were able to get that and finally celebrate.
Okay. Board, any other questions? Okay. So, Mr. Neighbors, you know, when you see so many schools improve and you have that one that you're trying to get at, we want to make sure that we focus at that school, but we don't lose sight of the other ones.
That's right.
Because if we do, they will slide too. We all know that. So
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you, sir. Yep. All right. Well, moving right along, we also have our data set from fall administration of the state growth assessment, as well as our locally developed SOL simulations. I put into a memo just general reflections and pieces that we were able to pull from that. A couple of important pieces. So we had our testing window back there end of October and into November. As you can see, quite a few assessments were given during that time. So kudos to staff for organizing that and getting all that done. This is one of the more kind of unusual or maybe sticker shock data sets we have throughout the year because of the nature of these assessments. We are asking students to sit for tests for which they have not received the majority of instruction on what's actually being asked of them at that particular time. It's an interesting model. Obviously, it's a means to an end from a growth standpoint, but I would expect to see data that shows a lot of red, shows a lot of orange, mostly where our students fell and where they were. What I'm encouraged by, and put several points there in the memo, looking at where we were last time, or this year, at this time last year, excuse me, being able to see progress being made, not necessarily in that green band with kids being well prepared, but not seeing nearly as many in that red band needing that intensive support. So looking at that balanced approach to how things are being instructed, again, especially in reading, they continue to highlight that content area, seeing a lot of positive gains and growth within that particular body of data. This is a data point that is helpful for teachers in regards to where did some of my individual students perform, being able to pull down that student performance, being able to understand where they were on what I've already instructed. Did they perform the way I expected them to? And are there themes in that kind of projected data, things I know I'm going to get into and teaching later on in the year that I need to pay special attention to? Are there things that my students do have a good amount of background knowledge on and maybe I can approach in a different way? So trying to take this data set, use it for what it's worth, and then kind of get back to what we've been doing month to month from an instructional standpoint. But all in all, glad to see some progress within this. Obviously, there's a lot of sticker shock with it, with that red and orange. But in general, with the way this assessment is structured, it's kind of what I would expected to see with this data set. Again, don't want to belabor it. I know I had a lot in the memo there, but we'd be happy to answer any questions the board might have.
Okay. Board, any questions? Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. We have as our third bullet our monthly standards report. We've seen this a couple of times before. Again, with this one, when I'm looking at it, I'm looking for that incremental growth. Are we showing some progress? Very incremental this month, so went up a couple of percentage points in a couple of our areas. Science would be an area of focus for us as we're looking at it. We onboarded a lot of standards since the last report was given to the board, so we kind of had a little bit of a different effect on the overall data set there came down a little bit, and our well-prepared standards did see a nice jump in history. But ultimately, are we trending in a positive direction? Are we seeing more and more of these standards register within that well-prepared, maybe into that at-risk category? We're starting to see that incremental growth begin to bump up a lot. When we're talking about pacing, we've covered a lot of standards in some content areas to this point in the year. We are expecting this data to continue to make progress. When we're getting around to that 45-day planning, we should see more and more in that green column as we're moving forward. But all in all, like the trajectory that we're on, love seeing in that reading box especially, so such a little percentage within that red column. Again, with that, I'll answer any questions the board has. On the laser report, I usually don't speak a whole lot about that. My big announcement there was that laser no longer exists. That ended as of the 1st of December. I know Dr. Hoden and other members of our team are working to figure out how we can replicate this with what we have, but the state decided didn't want laser anymore, so it is gone. But the board has any questions, be happy to answer them.
Board, any questions? Thank you, sir.
All right, I can tell there's a lot of sadness about laser being gone. That's okay. We'll come back to it. All right, the last piece I wanted to update the board on was our math textbook review. Again, reminding the board, we gave a much more extended window this time to make sure we were getting as much feedback as possible. We've been around to all the schools. Ms. Baleko did a field trip with Ms. Matheny, took some pictures, did some social media push for that, which we appreciate. All in all, we're starting to get in some of that good feedback. We have at this point received 12 responses from our building staff, including one building administrator. Dr. Guerin at Amherst Elementary School always wants to point that out, that he has filled out the survey. We appreciate that. We have also received 15 responses from parents in the community, which we're glad to see kind of that starting to get rolling as well. It's going to continue to push. We have through February for that, multiple events going on at schools to make sure we get the word out and have good feedback from everybody involved on what we're looking at from a curriculum standpoint there. But all in all, on track. Still got a little while before we have to make any decisions, but just wanted to bring that to the board.
Thank you, sir. Board, any questions for Mr. Neighbors before he's done? Okay.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. And before, we may have said this, but I can't remember, but the high school being distinguished is, puts it in the top 17% of high schools in the state of Virginia. Only 17% of high schools got the distinguished category. So it puts them in the top 17% in Virginia. So we do want to recognize the high school and make sure we give them some accolades as well, because that took a lot of work on the administration staff and teachers and students and families to get them there. So we do want to make sure we recognize them as well for that accomplishment. And next, I'll turn it over to Dr. Hoden with administrative.
All right, so construction update, just continue to work on getting ready to move into those couple classrooms, nursing. The cosmetology labs is a little behind, so it'll probably be at least mid-January before we get in there. But some other work is rolling on with that. So I'll let Mr. Oakes go through his slideshow real quick. Go ahead, Mr. Oakes.
Alrighty, this is the hallway. You're standing in the main lobby. This used to be the entrance of the auditorium. And you're looking right down the hallway there. To the left are two classrooms and, excuse me. The left picture, if you're looking in the hallway, you got two classrooms on the right, one classroom on the left. And the picture on the right, you're looking at the new entranceway to the hallway, right across the new classrooms we put on the other side. And these are two offices. So on the left-hand side of the right-hand picture. That's pretty confusing. And so anyway, basically what you're looking at an L right here. The hallway going down this way is the L to the left. And if you're looking at the picture on the right, it's a hallway going to the right, and you end up at the same spot. So two offices, three classrooms, and we'll hope to be, they are pretty much finished now. And the county inspector came in yesterday, I believe it was, and finished his inspection. So they're just doing some minor touch-up work, but they're pretty much ready to go. And I think Dr. Crawford has some ideas of who he's going to put in these. Over the holidays, we'll get some new furniture in, and then they'll be ready to go. These are just some of the classrooms. On the right-hand side, you can see the windows. They were they're brand new windows, but they're the windows of the old auditorium. So facing from the hallway out into the parking lot. This is just one of the offices, and it does not come with a ladder. It comes with a desk. And the other one's identical to it. That's right. This is the nursing lab. Again, the nursing lab is pretty much finished up. You can see some touch-up work, particularly in that right picture. You see some new sheetrock mud on the left where they're patching up some things. But again, this area is pretty much done, to be ready to be occupied here shortly after break. And this is the I'm in the classroom on the right-hand picture. Actually, both pictures. Left pictures, I'm looking in the doorway into the classroom. In the right picture, I'm looking from the classroom outside the door, and the lab is to the right of those windows on your right-hand side. Then we'll move over to the lab itself. This is where we have the beds, and the students will do all their practical exercises and things like that. In the picture to your left, you'll see that little dark spot in the middle of the picture. That's actually a door that goes out into the parking lot. And that was a door that used to come into from outside the parking lot onto the stage, just to get you acclimated. We're up on the old stage right now. And the picture on the right is again looking back across the classroom, the lab itself. Then moving on to cosmetology, the new entrance in cosmetology has been put in. And as Dr. Hoden mentioned, there's work continuing in that area. The picture on the right is the actual classroom. And on the left side of the picture, you're looking back out the door there. And this is the cosmetology lab. In this area, on the picture on the left, you're looking from the classroom into the lab. And the picture on the right, you're looking across the lab back out to the doors going to the parking lot, and the classroom will be on your right-hand side. And as you see in the middle here, you have different washing stations and things like that, cosmetology type stuff in the middle, as well as along the walls for all the different stations. A much better environment than what they have today. Moving on to the agriculture lab. Even though it looks pretty rough, actually it's pretty close to being finished. One of the problems we had here, and I think we mentioned before, is where it was really originally designed for the sinks and tying into the old sewer drains and things like that. That gave us a little bit of a problem. But I think they've gotten that worked out. That's why the floor is not complete yet. But the lights are in. It's hard to see, but on the right picture, the little black boxes that are hanging down, they have all the different cord reels and things like that. So they're in. But again, this area will be finished after the first year. I'm anticipating probably late January, early February, something like that. This area will be complete as well. Another little thing we threw in here, not part of the construction project, but just one of the many other projects that's been going on. This is the auxiliary gym at the high school. This is where the rubber floor used to be. And we went through a lot of renditions, and kudos to Robert Kerr, the athletic director. We've been talking about removing the old rubber floor up. The abatement in that was significant to about $150,000, which did not include the new floor going down. So we said, hey, let's just cover it up. And everything was legal about it. Everything was good. So this is a new hardwood floor. The contractor's been working on that the last month or so, and a significant improvement to it. Looks much, much better and ties into the new gym as well. So as far as next steps, continuous construction and cosmetology. We had a pre-install meeting last week, and the equipment for cosmetology is scheduled to arrive January the 5th. So the lab part of cosmetology, that's why it's such a push to get that area done. So when the equipment arrives, they can start installing it, plumbing hooked up and things like that. And then, of course, continuing construction in an agriculture lab as well. So things moving along pretty good. It's been a, much improvement in the last month, and we'll continue to get this project knocked out. Any questions?
Board, any questions? Looks awesome.
Yep, the auxiliary gym floor looks amazing, so if you get a chance to look at that, and we'll have the classes starting in there right after Christmas break, so that'll be a nice so that they'll have that auxiliary gym back. As you know, we used that part of the year last year for the kitchen lines, and so we haven't had the auxiliary gym floor for quite a while now for PE and other things, so that'll be nice to have that area back. Okay. Quick update on the Verizon tower. So we still hadn't received the contract that was mailed a while back. I talked to Nate today. He said that the Postal Service had sent it to Philadelphia, and then it went to Indianapolis, and now it's on the way back to Virginia. So I'm not quite sure how that did that, but we should be receiving that next week, and then from there, of course, it'll follow the process with the county. So that's still kind of up in the air, but anyways. So next, we have the inclement weather procedures. Well, usually we talk about this before we have any weather, but we're quite aware of how those inclement weather procedures work. As you know, tomorrow we're closed and we are doing remote. So I'd just like to say something about our administrators and our teachers and our students. So we've been able to do the remote instruction, and from what I understand, everything's going well. And thanks to Mr. Neighbors and his crew also to getting that done. And it's nice for us to be able to do that and give the students some instruction while they're at home. I know the expectation for last Friday was for the students to play in the snow. And then what we didn't anticipate was that Monday was going to be quite the event that it was. So that turned out into that. So we've had a couple 2-hour delays and several missed days. And so tomorrow we'll wait and see what happens. And then I'd also like to say thanks to the administrators, but especially Mr. Rokes, his crew, the bus shop crew, the cleanup crew, because they've been right busy here the last week or so, and their work is quite amazing. So we've got another round tomorrow, and I would really need to get that cleaned up because high temperature Saturday will be 50, but then Sunday night it's down in the low teens with the wind chill at 0, and up high it's even in the negative. So definitely need to work on getting that cleaned up tomorrow. So any questions about the inclement weather policy?
Board, any questions?
Mr. Terry?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so coming from up north, we didn't close school for just any event, but when I moved down here in the northern part of Amherst County, and I hear a lot of parents not understanding why we close schools. And I would strongly encourage them to take a ride down Puppy Creek Road after it snows.
Yes, sir.
And if you make it to the other end, good for you, because some of those roads are pretty bad. So, the one good thing we did get out of COVID was we got really good at remote learning, and we're going to utilize that. So,
Yes, sir.
I appreciate the effort that gets put into it. It's not just, we're just going to close school. No, it's not like that. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen. It's not like everybody gets the day off either. So
And
appreciate
Mr.
the hard
Rossi,
work.
one of the things, that's why on the ride along that I did with that WSET did with me, I made sure I took them up to the Temperance area so I could show them some of those roads. A lot of folks in Madison Heights don't understand the difference.
That is correct,
But
yes.
of course, these last couple events, we've got snow everywhere, but there are days where we do get some weather in the northwestern part of the county where, Madison Heights is fine. So we have to consider where all of our students live. We've got a pretty good relationship with everyone, and I just want to share that VDOT reached out to us today, and they're asking us to update all of our bus routes so that those routes are first on the agenda for plowing. But I will tell you, in the ride along the other day, just going up to Temperance from the time we turned off to Lowesville to Temperance and then back, they had 60 cleared, but 15 minutes later it was covered again. So, VDOT was doing a great job, but they were doing their job to keep the main roads clear. There's no way they could get to the back roads, so.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
I'll hit this real
Okay.
quick. For the discipline matrix, I just want to remind everyone, some of you were here when we had to create the discipline matrix, and many of you were not. So I just want to go through a little history on that. And then we'll be glad to answer any questions. But to kind of set the stage a little bit, in 2014, Amherst County Public Schools and Amherst County High School specifically came out an OCR agreement, and part of that OCR dealt with a complaint to the Office of Civil Rights about discipline of an Amherst County High School student. During the OCR investigation, they found the high school handled that case appropriately, but when they came in, they looked at data from across the school division, K through 12. And what they found was they had concerns, and they reviewed that data as far as their discipline and academic data, that students across the division were receiving different consequences for offenses. even sometimes in the same building, a similar consequence, one student may have gotten something more harsh than the other student. And part of that, also they reported that sometimes students of color were receiving more severe consequences than their non-colored peers. So part of dealing with OCR was I became principal of the high school in 2014. The events happened prior to 2014, but I was the one there that had to work to get it back straight, working with the central office staff and so forth. But part of the agreement with OCR was a way to get consistent discipline across the division, which led to development of the codes chart. And that's why we kind of have the codes chart now. It goes back to that OCR agreement. I will say that when the codes chart was developed, the principals were a part of the conversation as far as what the consequence should be based on the offense. And it's reviewed annually. And sometimes it's reviewed during the year. If there's a situation we look at, we say maybe it's not where it needs to be, we'll actually convene principals during the school year to kind of look at things and see if we need to adjust anything. Virginia currently uses SBAR codes, which is the Student Behavior and Administrative Response Collection. And that's how we report stuff to the state. They pull that, every night, I think? They pull our data every night. And that's just reporting discipline to state reports. So I want to go over that a little bit real briefly, just so people understand that some of the discipline codes we're working with is because of that agreement, and that's why we kind of wanted consistency across the division. So Amherst Middle School student does something, and an Ellison student does the same thing, that we know they're being treated the same, and the students aren't being treated differently at different schools. So that's kind of the background history on that, just so I wanted to set the stage there. Now I'll turn it over to Dr. Hood.
Yep. And, any questions on that as you review it, Dr. Wells and I would be glad to answer those questions. If you want to come in and take a look at that or whatever, we'd be fine to answer those.
Okay. Board, any questions for now? Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, next, 10.02, you have in front of you, first read for JJAD and LBD.
Okay.
And 10.03, you have in front of you the November suspension report. Okay. And then 10.04, you also have the update from the Best Labs for this month. And it should be just like last month. I know a few of you asked for some changes, so Dr. Smith updated that. And if you have any questions for that, feel free to ask, and I'll try to answer. If not, I will get you the answer.
Board, any questions for Dr. Hood?
All right, that's it for me, Dr. Wells.
All right, thank you, sir. Next, we have Finance, Ms. Lakonich.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Before you tonight are your November financial reports. So we're 5 months into the fiscal year. No significant change to report from last month. We are awaiting the state numbers for this year, hoping to get this later in the month. We are currently ramping up our budget work. Ms. Thompson, you're going to miss out on all the fun as we work on this for next year. I do look forward to providing everyone else an update next month, both on the current revenue impact and the preliminary numbers for next year. But again, not much to report tonight, but I'll answer any questions you may have on the reports.
Board, any questions?
Mr. Terry?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Mrs. Lakonich, thank you so much for all your hard work. I really appreciate it. So a question I have, on our report, do we have a line that shows of the encumbered monies for positions that are not being used because we haven't hired someone or someone quit, et cetera, and what that number would be? Or where would I find that information on the report?
So on the reports, what's encumbered are the filled positions. If the position is not filled, it's not encumbered, so you're going to see that balance in the available balance. But that's not just positions, because we have some salaries that are not encumbered, such as substitutes, hourly paid. So when you look at that balance, on the available balance, it's not just open positions.
So if I'm looking at a line for, let's say, instructional aides, right? And I'm just throwing out a number that we have budgeted for 20 instructional aides, but we've only filled the position for, let's say last month they were filled, but then someone quit. And so this month only 19 were filled. How do we separate out what's encumbered for the whole year for a teacher that's there for the whole year, but it hasn't been spent? So there's a balance, right? From it was budgeted but not being used because there isn't a position there. There isn't someone for the position. Am I making myself clear?
I think there's some confusion because I'm seeing some funny looking faces looking around. So,
If I may, I think what she's asking is there a way to determine what funds are available from positions that have either not been filled or have been vacated?
So we do have position control reports that we do, we update monthly. Like you mentioned, the IAs, they may be vacant one month, the next month, there is a turnover in those. Those will provide an excess balance, but it would be taking the position reports every month, to say what positions were vacant, much like the vacancy reports that the HR department provides.
does that help, Dawn?
Maybe. I'll try and reach out, Mrs. Lakonich.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's probably best. Board, any other questions for Ms. Lakonich? Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, next we have Human Resources, Mr. Gallagher.
All right, Mr. Chair, members of the board, that leads beautifully into the vacancy report for this evening, since we're on that line.
Nice transition.
So you can see that before you, and I'm happy to take any questions. Worthy of note, you see the elementary teacher for Madison Heights, we have hired that, so we do have an individual starting the 1st of January.
Okay. Board, any questions on the vacancy report? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Next, we have the proposed 2026-2027 school calendar. And as you remember, we surveyed all staff in November, got quite a bit of feedback and input on some options for that. And partly with your requests, we did provide a lot of data and information about their responses and what led to the development of the draft. Their input was considered in this draft. We changed a few things, particularly with the time frame for teacher work days and professional days. They had asked for those to be kind of split between Mondays and Fridays, giving it a balance there, not always on a Monday. Some small tweaks, and overall they, as I had said before, really were favorable to the structure, similar to this year's structure in the way that it came out. But this is for first read and discussion, and I'm happy to take any questions if you have them. We hope that after discussion, if there's nothing further to modify, we can bring this back in January for a vote.
Okay. Board, any questions for now?
I don't have any questions, Mr. Chair, but I'd just like to say thank you for recycling that back through teachers as you made changes. I think that transparency will help.
You're welcome, and thank
Appreciate
you for the suggestion. A few other announcements. Our ACPS Education Career Fair is scheduled for February 7th. That's a Saturday. Many of you have come to those, so I hope that you can save the date. It is at Amherst Education Center this year from 9 to 12, kind of a central location, a great spot for that. Hopefully making it easier from those folks from the city and other counties to get to us so we can hire them here in Amherst, the best place to work. So just wanted to make that note, and please do come join us on that day. We will have our Teacher of the Year and Support Staff of the Year recognition dinner, similar to last year. However, the location On January 22nd at 6 o'clock will be Sweetbriar. It is within Prothrow, but it is the Josie dining hall or Josie room of that, which is a little bit different, plenty of space. So that's going to be a really nice event. And also letting you know that for the career fair, back to that, we are putting a save the date out through social media here upcoming, just to make sure we get that out to everybody. Then we'll push that a little heavier back in January. And if people don't have questions, that's it for me. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Rose, unless you have questions.
Just say, Ms. Thompson, you're more than welcome to join us for the Teacher of the Year ceremony.
Please.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and board members.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and board members. What you have in front of you is an evaluation report compiled regarding our Sharing Our Strengths Day of Peer Learning that was held on November 4th this year. We used the platform created by Plan Forward to submit the responses that were given to us by 140 participants, which was just, about half of those total that were engaged in some of the face-to-face learning that was taking place at the high school and around the division. We had a lot of good responses from it. Some powerful feedback was given to us that they felt like it was relevant, engaging, they could take things and flow with it straight in their classroom, varied topics that could meet multiple staff members at different levels and different positions, and also great feedback about how we can strengthen it even further moving forward. Some of the suggestions was more collaborative time to work with teams and departments across school levels, as well as bringing in outside experts to help co-facilitate some of the sessions along with division leaders. So those are things we're looking to tweak to make it even better next year. But all in all, even with the improvement suggestions, it was always delivered with a caveat, but we enjoyed this about it, and it was a powerful session. So if you've had a chance to go through it or have any questions about that day, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Board, any questions?
Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on, I shared 2 packets regarding our partnership with JMU. JMU started last year through a video-provided grant, an opportunity to strengthen the principal workforce. They run simultaneously. One is called the Virginia Principal Support Program, and it has 4 different components to it. I serve as the principal supervisor, as the liaison between JMU and Amherst County Public Schools. We have participants serving as on the leadership development team, where they're creating modules to strengthen learning that could be used across divisions. We're stronger together, so rather than everybody working in silos, it's a way for us to collaborate and strengthen all of our leaders in our division. We have Lance Martin from Temperance Elementary, who is serving on the leadership development team. Another component would be the principal advisor. Ms. Leah Gray from Amelon Elementary is actually mentoring a principal, early career principal in another division. Lilia Saunders from Elon Elementary, this is her 2nd year in the program, and she is an early career principal, so she has a mentor through the program that she can use as a thought partner throughout the year. And then we also have opportunity principals. These are principals that can kind of pop in for the sessions throughout the year when there's a topic that they feel could be relevant to build their capacity and strengthen their leadership within their buildings. Simultaneously, JMU also created an opportunity for our assistant principals. So they have the Assistant Principals Institute. And throughout the year, they are engaged in learning sessions as well. So as not to cause a friction with removing them from their buildings, majority of theirs is held virtually, even though they do have in-person sessions in December and also a 3-day session in the summertime. But in each of these, we felt like it brought value capacity to our individuals to help them hear different perspectives and voices and building them as leaders within our division. And if you have any questions about those, I would be happy to answer them.
Board, any questions?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Go Dukes. Oh, sorry.
That's next week, right? Mr. Chair, members of the board, my information tonight, we did attend the VSBA annual convention last month. Ms. Ligon, Ms. Saunders, Mr. Childress attended. We also had Mr. Neighbors and Dr. Rose, and they were there as presenters at the conference. So it was a good time had, and had some good food, and it's a good time together. So ACHS Winterfest. That was originally scheduled for Tuesday of this week. It is now moved to Monday night, December 15th, and it is still from 5 to 7. And the chorus concert, I believe, is following. I think the band concert's a different night, but I think chorus is following Winterfest. So if you go there, kids go there, they can also go into the chorus concert and watch the chorus concert. We did the Town of Amherst Parade this past Friday. I was lucky enough to sit up in the cherry picker and with the mayor and announce the parade. It was a great night. It was really, as I said earlier with Mr. Campbell, it was really good that our kids we could get them in there to participate, and their parents would get them here and agreed to let them participate in the parade. We had other groups that were going to be in it, but again, some of those were elementary groups and there's a middle school group, and they opted not to, which was fine. It was all up to the parents to get them there. So we did have the band in it. It was kind of hard to have the parade without the band. There'd just be a bunch of rescue squad trucks and fire stuff going down the street. So it was good for the band to be able to participate. But it was a good night. It was actually a lot better attended than I was thinking it was going to be, especially right there on that area of Main Street. It was good participation. I know we had several hundred watch it online as well. Some of our kids were having snowball fights down the street and all the fun stuff you do when it snows. But that was a good evening. So quarterly reviews. I have finished my first round of quarterly reviews with my building principals, and in that they report to me. We have a senior staff in there, and we look at academic data. They discuss where they are academically, they discuss behavioral data, and they discuss attendance data of students and staff with the attendance. But we really dig into what are the areas that we're seeing we need supports, and make sure they are putting supports where they need to be. And if they need any additional supports from us, then we can communicate with them and get those supports to them in their buildings. So we'll start round 2 in second week of January. So every 9 weeks, every quarter, we're doing these, and they report out. And it's good for them to be able to share out with us, but also good for us to be able to offer assistance if we, make sure we are all both on the same page and both working together. This is a reminder that your statement of economic interest, we're waiting to see if anything is updated on that from the state, but don't fill it out prior to January 1st, but it's due by February 1st. Ms. Thompson, you don't have to worry about it.
I'm counting my plus in there.
So those will be due by February 1st. We will send those to you once the state sends it. Make sure they don't update the forms. We have last year's forms for you if you want to get a copy of those to review to make sure you're filling it out like you did last year. Make sure you didn't miss anything. So we can get those to you as well. Just let us know. But again, I would wait. Don't do anything until after January 1st, because then it won't count. So, all right. Questions on that? Okay. The community dinner this year is going to be February 5th, and we'll send this out to you in more detail. Just to say the date. It's going to be at the high school this year because we now have the new space to use, so we'll use the high school for the community dinner. And we'll start getting that organized here pretty soon. But we got the date set with the high school, and we will be getting all that organized as we move forward. And then the last thing I have is school board professional development. It's scheduled for January 15th. We will email information to you, but I've got Dr. Collins coming in to work on a few things with us, and also Frank Wright to go over some of the required legal things that we have to do on an annual basis. So Frank will be here for that. We'll get you the dates on that, but January 15th afternoon time frame for the most part into the evening. We have that set for then. So some normal board work, and then also again have Frank come in and do his stuff. New board member. The other Mr. Childress, we are going to, he's going to training to us, and also depending on what the board decides going into next year in January as chair, vice chair, and so forth, they have that training the same day as new board member training. So if you would, depending on what happens on the January board meeting, who gets put in what positions, we'll be glad to take you or go with you to the training. It's going to be in Richmond, and that date, I just slipped my mind, Brittany. Around the 26th, 27th, somewhere in the end of January. Okay? So just want to put those dates out there just so you can just be thinking of that, and more to come from us. We'll make sure we get reminders to you on all of that. Are there any questions?
Board, any questions for Dr. Wells?
All right.
All righty.
Here then. Thank you.
All right, board, moving on. We're going to do committee and individual members all at the same time. Ms. Saunders, kick it off, please.
Maybe the only good thing about not being on the end. I'll start. Okay, I'm not as good as you, Chris. I like to write things down. I know, I'm just that way. I do want to congratulate all their students and teachers and staff, especially Manellison and Madison Heights Elementary School and Amherst County High School. Way to go. We see you working hard. Mr. Neighbors, thank you for all the work that you put in and for the willingness to meet with all of us at any time to explain this. I called him on a snow day. It was like, I got questions. So thank you. Thank you for answering my call. Abby, I wrote this down. When I have my leadership Amherst group, I always like to write a little something about each person and their style of leadership. So I wrote something for you. But if I didn't write it, I'd go on another tangent about, Christmas vacation or something. Okay, Abby, your detailed approach and strong involvement have inspired me more than you know. You have unknowingly mentored me simply by the way you lead. John Maxwell reminds us that leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Your influence on this board, our students, and on me personally is undeniable. You'll be missed, but your legacy of leadership will remain. So thank you. And everyone have a great Christmas.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Rossi.
Yeah. Let me start off by saying last month, I think me and Dr. Hoden went on a road trip, didn't we? We were at Quality Archery Design. Yeah, that was awesome. That was incredible. Taking some seniors out and showing what it's like to, kind of work for a living. So we had dinner or lunch, and then we toured the facility over there, and I think they got a lot out of it. I'm hoping we've got some more scheduled because to get the students out there and just see what's out there before filling out applications, because some of these buildings you only see from the outside as you're going by. It's hard to get on the inside and let you fill out the resume and get in, get your interview and all that fun stuff. But
one of our former students talked to them, so that was
yeah, that was a former Amherst County graduate, yes, that's in there working. And I think it gives a lot of opportunity for Amherst County. Let's generate some jobs within the county. And, I got a call from the plant manager the following day. Is like, is there anything else we can do? So I think they like the program, and maybe apprenticeships will be in the future for us. So that would be a great endeavor for us to travel down and give our students other opportunities besides, maybe getting them ready for college, and some of them want to get to work. So if we can get them that path, then let's do it. Christmas is coming. I hope everybody has a safe Christmas. And I want you to take a moment, reflect, and show some grace. Everybody's stressed out this time of year, got a lot of stuff going on, family, shopping, traffic, weather, and just give each other some grace in this time because, it's important because someday you will need it. So it's good to practice to give it. Abby, I've already said mine to you, and I appreciate you, and you know how I feel, and you're amazing, and I'm so glad that we've had this opportunity to work together on the board, and I found a new word, so that was good. So yeah, we'll be stick with me. You'll go far. No, and yeah, it's been a pleasure. It really has. And I know you're not going very far. Gary retired 3 years ago. So, look how good that is. Was it 3 years ago? 4 years ago? 8 years ago, yeah, so, so welcome to retirement. Ask Gary all about it. But thank you, Abby. It's on you. You're the star.
Thank you, sir. So, Ms. Justice, would you like to go next?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Central Virginia Gov School did not meet this month. We have hired the new director, and that's pretty cool. I just want to encourage students and parents. Now is the time to be talking to your guidance counselor and investigating what attending Gov School could do for you. It's a profound opportunity to really immerse yourself in the sciences and to interact with other people that take their education so seriously. So I just want to challenge people, reach out to your guidance counselor on this. Mrs. Thompson, one of the things I recall about you in the early days of 2021, as we were talking to people, is you were independent and individual, and you wanted to be the one to communicate what your values were and why you were running for school board. You weren't just a part in a machine. You were an individual. And I have benefited so much from watching you in your collaborative way of communicating with administration, with parents, teachers, and to ask questions seasoned with diplomacy and clarity. You are someone I really would like to gain some skills from. I understand you're retiring. I admire it, but I'm really going to miss you. You have been, you serve on the board heart and soul. It's not a once a month thing. It's not a few hours a month. You invested time, energy, emotional strength into understanding policy, understanding what's happening in the schools and how you can advocate for teachers, parents, students, administration, and to help encourage the district to stretch and grow and get where you knew they could be. And I just really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your service. I attended the SBMA conference, the Empowering Ed Symposium, early in November. So November was extremely busy, and it is always just a download of very applicable information. But one of my takeaways was in the workshop on finances, they would always ask, the presenter would ask these leading questions. You know, does your financial officer give you this? And I raised my hand, I'd say yes. And he'd look around and he's like, gee, that's the first time I've seen someone raise their hand. And by the end of the presentation, the presenter said, you need to let your financial officer know she's doing a phenomenal job and more districts need people like her. So it was really cool. So thank you, Mrs. Zukonich. And that our administration works very hard to get board members information that they request in a very timely manner. And I just appreciate it. Thankful to work here. Got to do the Amherst Parade. It was very fun. I got to sit around the fire and watch everyone go by. And again, so privileged to live in this county and to see all the people come out in the midst of snow and cold and just cheer on this home parade. I just pray for everyone that you would have a really great Christmas, that no matter how Christmas looks for you this year, that you would be able to be present and enjoy the gifts of fellowship, memories, and new memories as we celebrate the Savior's birth. And Mr. Porter, thank you so much for your encouragement in your comments to the board in this division on how they handle finances. Merry Christmas.
Okay. Ms. Thompson, would you like to go next or you want to go last?
I'll go next.
Okay, I'm leaving it up to you. Just
I just want to say thank you to Mr. Porter. Your comments about us having a wonderful school division and the story that we need to tell, I agree with you 100%. Having seen it from the outside as well as seeing it from here in this perspective, we do have one of the best school divisions and the most dedicated staff, and their commitment is evident every day. And I do think we need to tell that story. One of the thoughts that I just had while you were talking was our distinguished high school. I know that we will celebrate them here, but maybe that's a way we could celebrate them with the Board of Supervisors too, to just get that information out. So looking for those ways, but thank you, Mr. Porter. And I just want to say to the board and encourage you, one of the things that we had been talking about was the CTE program, and Mr. Porter brought that up again, and I know that the division is working on it. So I would just like, as I'm leaving, to encourage you to try to make sure that we are doing well with the scope and sequence that Dr. Wells has talked about, getting it, a program set up into our elementary schools and keeping that program alive and thriving to where we build it for our middle school and high school. And I love that van that was out there, that big one. So I know y'all will be talking about that. Just want to say how much I consider you all friends, the relationships that we have built. I value them very much. Yeah, there's a lot of hard work to do up here, but the most important thing is the relationships with the kids, with the teachers, and with each other. So I just thank you for that, because you guys work really hard. Everybody in the school division does. But you don't forget the value of those relationships with the kids and with each other and with us. So thank you for celebrating with me tonight, for the sincere thank yous and the kind words. If I believed them all, I would float away. So I'll try to remember half of them, but thank you. They're very humbling. So I will miss you.
Ms. Ligon,
Well,
how you follow that?
you can't. You can't do it, so I'll just stick to the plan. We had a Laurel board meeting last week, and everything is well at Laurel. We have five students there. And Dr. Lewis and her team are doing a great job. I, too, enjoyed the VSBA meeting, and yes, Mr. Neighbors and Dr. Rose did a great presentation on Leadership Academy down there. We're well praised for that. The legislators' tour was good, Dr. Wells and company, as we showed our high school off again. You can't show that off too many times, because that's just a marvelous place up there. But also, I think we gave them some things on the agenda that we'd like to look at in Richmond. So all things have been great. And this tonight has been a celebration night, kind of, not you leaving, but good news from out there, all that data that we didn't know what to do with. I finally got it straight now. And so, Mr. Neighbors and company, thank you for that. And more than that, the memo, how you bring it on home to me, I just read the memo first, then I go back and look at the numbers, so it's all good. So we thank everybody for the hard work. That's what we're supposed to do, all about achievement and trying to get these students where we need them to be. So I'm just excited about all that. So congratulations to everybody for their hard work. And Abby, we've been together for a minute, and a big minute. And even before she was on the school board, I met her in softball. We was in the concession stands, about to kill ourselves, and now making hot dogs, hamburgers, and all of that way back, and your husband was the treasurer. Then I know that we see each other on the school board. And I've heard great things tonight. I'm not going to overdo it, but I want to say that you are definitely a person who states your mind. What I like is you and I may not have agreed on everything, but it did not defer our friendship. In fact, I may have learned from what I didn't agree with and thought about it later on. You are definitely a stickler for data, which I like, because you ask for things that I will go home and look at later, and curriculum and data, and you were all about the achievement for the students in this county. So I have enjoyed it. We've traveled together a little bit. You were there when I lost my husband. You were there when I lost my brother. Just watching you and seeing you come to be a part of my life. So I think we all know here that we say we're a family, and we are. The school board's a family. The community is a family. We got things that we've been through, and Dr. Wells said it so eloquently that there were some tough times. When you and I were sitting up here, I don't know what we was doing. I was getting ready to get up under here somewhere, but we held each other up. And we made it because we did just what I said. We stuck to what we agreed or what we didn't agree, but for the good of the county, we made it. So I will miss your sitting here, but you're not that far away. And I think someone said the influence you've had on us and the things that you've challenged us to know and to learn more about has been good for me. So I remember that time I said, well, I'll be chair if you help me. And you said, okay, and you said, I'll be chair if you help me. So we had a good time doing that. And so I might cry if I get home, but right now I'm just saying thank you for everything, and continue to sit out there when you want to. Come on up to the mic when you need to, and we won't pay you any attention. We just kind of go, we don't know who she is. So enjoy your Thursday nights once a month. But you can tune in now, see. It's so nice now. You can watch us on Facebook and send little chats to Brittany, who will tell us what you're saying. So once again, as I conclude, just want to wish everybody happy holidays, a Merry Christmas. And someone said it already, but this is a time of year to reflect and enjoy ourselves. And thank you, Dr. Wells and Dr. Holden and Mr. Rokes, for, yes, watching the roads. And I don't apologize anymore when school is out. I may hear comments about it, but I just say things like, go ahead and drive it yourself if you want. If you think you can turn that bus around up on that road that's not meant for nothing but a go-kart, help yourself. And, I might, even when I look at my house down under the hill where I live, it's more snow than up on top of the hill. So I don't judge. I just, I appreciate you all having that kind of judgment to keep the children safe. And that's what it's all about, keeping the children safe, keeping our workers safe, and being out there, the bus drivers. So we thank you for that, and just have a great holiday. Good.
Mr. Childress.
All right. Well, first, Mr. Neighbors, instructional team, kudos, great job with Madison Heights Elementary and Ellison, getting that taken care of, and certainly to the high school for getting the distinguished recognition. A lot of hard work has gone into that, and as already has been stated, we know there's still a lot to do, and so we're not going to stop there, but we certainly want to recognize the efforts that have been made so far, and so continue on that path, and please relay the message to everyone, what a great job they're doing. I did get to attend the VSBA annual conference. You learn, you go to these conferences, and sometimes it's a mixed bag of what you get to see and hear. But I did get to attend Mr. Neighbors, Dr. Rose's session, and it's a great session. Probably one of the best ones I actually went to when I went there. So I do appreciate you guys and what you're doing. I did also get to attend the VISTI conference this past week. And one of the things that I learned there was we had really a comedian, and came and talked to, he used to be a teacher. And he talked about, and I thought this was an important thing for administrators and teachers to really understand. And he talked about how when he was a teacher and he would have students who would like to cut up in class and trying to have fun. And he quickly realized later on in life that those were the kids who, what they were trying to do is, in his mind, was create a safe space because they didn't have one at home. And that's why comedy was so important. And, I think that's an important lesson for us to learn, is that there's a lot of baggage that we don't necessarily get to see, and why people are doing the things that they're doing. And that, we need to take that under advisement when we're dealing with our students, and certainly understand that they're not necessarily coming from the same place that we're coming from each and every day. So that was a huge lesson for me. Finally, Abby. I really don't know what to say. You've been a great friend for many years. Obviously, I've known you before the school board. While on the school board, you've been a great friend to me. You're always available. I text you, I call you. You've been there, a great mentor. And all I can say is I'm certainly going to miss you in this capacity on the board. But you're going to continue to be my friend. I'm still going to call you at times and talk to you. And although I'm going to miss you here, we'll still continue to have our friendship. So thank you for your service to the board, to the school system, and for just being the great person that you really are. You are what people see. You're not a fake person, and I admire you for that. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, it's good to see the kids back in here getting their recognition. We don't get that every month with bomb threats and various things going on. So it's good to see them back in here, especially, was it Caitlin, the golfer? That's phenomenal to see. Amherst has never been known truly for their golfing. So it's great to see one of our students get such a high marks there. And our yearbook staff. I don't think people give credit where credit is due a lot of times. Our yearbook staff, they do a phenomenal job, and to have them recognized statewide, national-wide, it's a great thing. So you guys keep up the good work. Thank you guys for the reports tonight. Mr. Neighbors, like we said, can't keep our eye off the prize, take our eye off the prize. And just because we're here, we always want to be there. No matter what school it is, we want to be just a little bit better. It's a goal we'll never attain, but we're going to keep shooting for it. Just one step higher. Every time we get one step higher. Yeah, I'm not going to belabor a whole lot of things because a lot of stuff's already been said. I will turn to Abby, and I do want to thank you for your leadership. You showed me how to be strong in adversity. We did have a little bit of adversity when I first came on the board anyway. And we did what we thought was right. It didn't matter what other people thought. We stuck up for the ones we thought needed to be stuck up for. And we came out on the other side. I admire you for that. It showed me your strength. It showed me how to gain strength myself. I cherish the times I was able to come to your house, and we just sit down and talk. Just how are things going? Not necessarily about school, about family. We've all had some family issues over the past few years. You were there for me. I was there for you. Trust me, that's continues even after you leave tonight. Jim, too, has been a mentor. So it has been great getting to know you guys. Look forward to continue seeing you guys at church. And enjoy your Thursday evenings now. Like I said, you can tune in or come visit us anytime. But thank you very much. It's been a pleasure serving with you. And also, like you said, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Please be careful out there. Remember the reason for the season and slow down and try to take advantage of that time. Be with your family, be with your friends. And that's it for me. And moving on, we had a closed session scheduled, but we covered everything in that closed session, so.
I'll second that.
It's good? Oh, wait a minute, sorry, there was a public comment. Is there anyone who'd like to approach the board with public comment? Okay, one's coming forward.
Jeff Porter, 478 Woody's Lake Road, Madison Heights. One of the things that I benefited from this meeting was to hear all of the different ways that Abby has impacted this school district and people's lives. But one of the things that stood out for me is that what you talked about is valuing what Abby brought. That happens when you all allow space for that to happen. And that's one of the things that you do as a board, is you allow space for the person to blossom. And that's an important part of leadership. And I commend you because each of you come to this board with skills and insights and wisdom that the other doesn't have. So, keep up the good work of giving each other space. And as Eric said, grace, to be able to blossom. Because as you blossom, our students get better. And that's the main goal. The other comment that I have is that we celebrate Christmas because as John in the gospel of his gospel in the first chapter says that God moved into the neighborhood. And because God moved into our neighborhood, into Amherst County, there's always hope. And there's always light. So even in the midst of all the challenges and all that comes our way, we have hope, we have light. Thank you, Abby, for being part of that light. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Okay. Seeing none, and we have closed session that was already taken care of.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Bye, Dawn. Merry Christmas. See ya.